Hey, what is up, guys? Ghost Gaming here, and we are doing part 2 of how to build a Gotham City. Now, in the previous video, which was yesterday, um, I had maybe a couple of comments bringing to light a couple of things about my building method. Nothing too negative, which, honestly, I'm very grateful for. Um, so in light of that, we are going to get on to how to kind of rectify a couple of those things. So with sidewalks, we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to try to break this down into portions, and this is probably going to be another 30 to 40 minute long video, and if you want to take notes or put it in your watch later, then that is completely fine. I actually encourage that. That way I can see what you guys can do and just try to help out people who want to build top tier Gothams but just don't know how to get to that point yet. So we're gonna jump into the first section, and that is sidewalks. We're gonna pick up where we left off in the last video. And so in the last video I did I believe this is a 7 and a 5 wide sidewalk. Now, depending on the area that you're working in, let's just say you have, it's like your financial area, you have really tall buildings, you want to have a sidewalk that kind of is proportionate to your building. Now, if it's like a slummier area like Park Road, then this kind of setup, or 5 to 7, somewhere in between that. Hell, you could even do like 9, right? Um, then that's completely okay. It's just the formula is you want your sidewalk to be proportionate to your road. And what I mean by that is, like, so let's just say I have a 9 wide road here. You want to have the bigger number out of the half, right? So the bigger number out of the half of 9, well, half of 9 would be 4.5, so you would just round that up to 5. So that is kind of your ratio. If I had a 13 wide, then I would have closer to, you know, a 9 wide sidewalk or a 7 wide sidewalk. You never really want to do even numbers, so you would always want to round it up to the next odd number or the one below it. Um, so yeah, so for 13 wide it'd be a 7 wide sidewalk. For 9 wide it'd be a 5 wide sidewalk. And to get it into a little bit more of an advanced thing, right? So I'm just going to do a simple, kind of demonstration on the other side of this road. So let's just say right here, I had a building that's going up to about 145 blocks at the build height on the coordinate, right? So let's just say I have, the other sidewalk right here. And I have a building that's going up to 170, right? So I would want to make my sidewalk, instead of 5 wide, 7. Or, you know, um, yeah, about 7 wide, give or take. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or you could even do 9 wide. You just want to add that variation in there. In this video, though, just kind of to move off of that topic and back onto different building techniques, I'm going to show you guys in this video, along with how to do a couple of other things. In this video we are going to be doing curved roads, diagonal roads, and when I say curved roads and diagonal roads, I mean curved roads itself, curved sidewalks, diagonal roads, diagonal sidewalks, and then if we have time, street lamp designs, and just different wall detailing. Um, I don't want to make this video like 40 minutes long or an hour long, That way it's, it's a little easier to watch, it's a little easier to stomach, but also to get the information out there and just to kind of help, right? So we're going to get rid of these for right now, and we're going to get rid of this. That way we have a little bit of room to build, and just a little bit of room to just show how to get this done. So the major rule with Gotham, after you get your height planned out, after you get, your straight part of the road planned, you don't really want to do much. You just want to have the first building, right? Now, before I get into that, I am going to have to show you, again, my newest Gotham, just to kind of show the road layout and what I decided to go for. So if you want to go with that, it'll be completely fine. I find that doing a four-way intersection to start with, if you're doing it in the middle of your district or in the middle of your city, it's a little bit easier to branch out everywhere because you have four different ways that everything can go instead of just, one way. So, if we look here, my roads with the buildings that are, standing, even though they're not completely finished, I have the bottoms of the buildings completely done. Um, the road itself does not exceed what I have built. And as you can see, the road over here does not exceed what I have already built. And this road kind of does exceed what I've already built, but that's because I'm starting to plan out the next building. So, and even over here the road doesn't exceed what I have already built. So that's your kind of general rule, is you don't want to have your roads and sidewalks exceed on both sides what you have already built on one side. So if you built, let's just say, the sidewalk first, right, on one side, then yes, you can build your sidewalk on the other side. And what I've done here is this sidewalk is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a little bit weird to do 8, but you can do 7 or 9. Technically it's 9 because of this little part in here, but if you don't want to count that, then it's 8. And on this side it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you see they're a little offset, but that just kind of gives character to your Gotham, right? And over here, the sidewalk is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 and 5, and it continues along here to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you see, your sidewalks can vary differently depending on just how you really want to do everything. And your sidewalks don't have to be even on either side. It's just you want your roads to line up. So my road here is a 13 wide by 13 wide by 13 wide by 13 wide. And I believe actually it may not be 13 on this side. Let me count just for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so it's 13 on this side, and I believe it is also 13 on this side, because they are all even. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to teach you how to do curved and diagonal roads. So with anything that you build, you always want to plan it out to a certain degree beforehand. So again, we're going to have to get into detailing and everything, but we already learned the detailing of the roads and the detailing of the sidewalk. So you can translate that over to there, so it won't be detailing the flat part, but I'll be detailing the curved and the diagonal part. So let's just say, our road continues on, right? So our sidewalk continues on down here. Our road continues on down here. just to kind of give what we would place a building here, just some length, right? And then right here, we're going to start on this side. So we're not going to start with the sidewalk, but we're going to start with the road. So right here, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, connecting to the road, then 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, and then what you do on the other side is 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you just want to make sure that this is over here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and what you would want to do, and this is just what I found is the easiest way to make an even curved road, right? You don't want to have it like that, but this is just kind of started out with, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you could either do it like that, right? Or if you want to add a little bit more depth to it, you can bring it back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, and then 2, 2, 2, 3. And then we'll just do it like that, just to have a little bit more of a curve. And then we break this corner part right here, right? So now you have a curved part. And now that we have that measured out, we can break this right here and continue it on more, right? And we'll just leave it about, yeah, right here. So now that we have our curved part, and we can always make adjustments to that curve, but I actually think that the curve looks pretty nice as it is. So we count again, just to make sure. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. So what I'm actually going to do here is bring this back one, bring that right there, bring that back one, bring that back one, bring that back one, and then break those. There we go. So now here's what else we do. So we're just gonna line this, right? And this is kind of how you want to do your gutter system, is just, you know, just your standard stuff that most people already know how to do, right? And whatever you do on this side, we're going to do on this side. But let's just say, you know, there's our gutter here, you know. And then we just bring this around. Same process. And sorry if this gives you motion sickness. It's just the most efficient way to get this part done. So yeah, now that we have that, we're going to get our stone, and we're just going to line this part right here. And then you just copy what you did right there. So actually we're going to do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, so I need one more right here. Okay, so now we can kind of get a little bit creative with this, and we're just gonna bring this in, bring that in. You know what, we're also gonna kind of add to it as well. 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay, so that's kind of how I like to do it, is just like that, and then we bring this part back here. So if, obviously I'm going to fill this in later, but this is just to kind of help and show you exactly what I mean by getting a measurement correctly, and just to kind of help. So you do not repeat this process unless you are just learning. But yeah, so now that we have the curved part of the sidewalk right there, let's just do it on the other side. So we're going to do that, 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 that. And we're actually going to leave it right there. Okay. So obviously this part down here would just be, you know, connected. And we're going to give this one a 7 wide. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me just recount. 2, 3, 6, 7. And we're just going to bring this to be even with this flat part right here. So let me just get the planing block. So yeah, you see even right there. And if you don't want to count it, you know, you can always just make sure it's even like that. And let's see if it's even. Alright, so now we'll count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to get in to right here. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. And you basically just kind of want to follow the pattern that you've already put. And obviously now we have a huge gap right here that we just really don't know what to do with. So here's how I like to fix it. It's just we add 4, 5, 2, 3. Let me just break that. Break that. So 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 2. Boom, boom. Okay. So for a bigger sidewalk, you know, you kind of just gotta eyeball it, make sure, see if it looks right, see if it doesn't look right, and then, you know, we'll just get into filling it in, detailing it, and whatnot. So yeah, so same thing goes for what we did with the straight part, is we just fill it in, make it a solid foundation, and then we just go in and detail the living crap out of it. So same thing right there. And I'm not gonna detail this side because whatever I do on this side can be directly translated to that side. So yeah. Now we just get our detailing blocks, and I may even add in an extra block to detail with. That way it's just a little bit more fun. So now we get this, 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 this. Alright, so now let's get this, this, that, that, that. And we're just going to use the moss carpet and just you know, sprinkle it in every now and then on the part that we built yesterday. It doesn't matter what block it goes on, it can literally just go on any of the blocks. Just make sure it's not flush with like this, right? So you would want to like off-center it to like if this was a solid block to like that. But obviously we're not going to do that right there, and it's actually pretty good how it is. So yeah, alright. And what we're also going to do is take our stone button and just place it every now and then on the road. And if you want to do that, then that is completely up to you. This is just something that I like to do on my Gotham. Kind of adds a little bit more color to it, even though it's mainly just black, brown, and grayscale. It just adds that little bit of extra color. Now we're gonna fill this in. So where you placed your red concrete for your outline, you just fill it in with black concrete powder. And I'm just gonna leave that right there. Remember in the last video, this would technically be raised up at like maybe 15 to 20, maybe even 30 blocks above your water level. So it just all really depends on how you want your Gotham to look and how you want the height to look. Just remember, the higher you go off the water, the less build height you'll have. If you're working on previous versions of Minecraft, then I believe the build height is closer to 250, if I'm remembering correctly. If not, then it's closer to 230. And so whatever your build height is, you would just want to really work with that. I know in the newer versions of Minecraft we have 270, give or take. It's like around 265, but I like to round it up to 270 just to kind of give myself that little extra breathing room, just in case if, you know, it is that height or not. But yeah, so it helps to start in, you know, your medium district when you build a district Gotham City. And if you don't have a district Gotham City, you know, you just want it to be all Gotham, no named districts or anything, then you would just go to your, like, kind of middle point for your buildings. So, like, where your buildings would be medium height. Okay, so now that we got that filled in, right, and keep in mind this is where your building would go, and you know, you can plan it out like this, but you don't want to do what I just did here for the straight part, because it can kind of box you in, you know, and doesn't give you enough room to build. So like, let's just say we start with the curved part, right? So I do this straight part here, curve it out like I just did. What I would then do from here after I get this part detailed is I would go in and build my building, right? Do the front part of the building and just see how big I want the building to be. And let's just say, like, I'll use a different planning block for a building. We'll just use blue, right? So let's just say our building, you know, extends out after, you know, being curved all the way to here, right? Big building. But let's just say it just, you know, extends out to there. I would build this up, you know, to the first floor, and then I would go in and do the rest of the sidewalk in the road. Because what that allows me to do is it allows me to make the buildings as big or as small as I want them to. And, you know, it just gives me a little bit of freedom. And if I, you know, after I get to a point to where, like, you know, I reach the edge of the building, and there's like a pillar here, right? Um, then what I can do is start elevating, you know. So I can be like, okay, so my sidewalk comes here, right? And this is just kind of like a example. But then what I can do is place slabs right here, and then elevate my sidewalk up. So that's really, just best case scenario to kind of how to do um, just buildings and really kind of kickstart your Gotham off. You never want to plan out all your roads. I learned that mistake the very hard way, and it kind of limited me and made me lose motivation in a lot of my builds. We're just going to throw that there. So yeah, so same process here. We just go in and detail it. Nothing different than what we previously did. Go in, detail it again with this block. Now remember, the blocks that we use to detail our sidewalks are andesite, gravel, cobblestone, stone bricks, crackstone brick, mossy stone brick, mossy cobblestone, stone brick slab, mossy stone brick slab, mossy cobble slab, cobblestone slab, light gray carpet, mossy carpet, stone pressure plate, stone button, and spruce button. I'm just going to throw that in there because I cannot be bothered to clear out an inventory and pick block all that again. So yeah. So yeah. It's just all about randomness when you detail. There's no real pattern to it. It's just you find the first block that you see, really, and it's a little bit of a formula. You don't want it too far apart. You just really want to eyeball everything. That is what I found gives you a really good kind of detailing, dirtiness effect. And, you just eyeball and hope for the best. That's really all what I do when I detail these. And if I have to go in and place more, then I go in and place more. It's really trial and error, like I said in the last video. Same thing goes for this. Doesn't really matter how you place it. It just matters if it looks good. And like I said, I'm going to try to make this a daily series where that way it doesn't take too long to pump out. This series will stop being a daily series in late February. So around February 18th, because I will be moving out of state and roommating with some friends up in Wisconsin. So that means I won't have the time that I have right now to get these videos out to you. And it's a little bit of a bummer, but you know, it's okay. I believe we'll manage. So yeah, same thing just goes, you know, because we have a bigger space to work with here, that means I can kind of just really do whatever I want. And I also have a lot more space to work with, and it just allows me to get the detail that I wish to put into these sidewalks here. Okay. Now we get this, place that. Okay. And also, if you want to add another block into your sidewalks, just to give it that little extra pop, I tend to do this in like the really, really, really slummy areas of my Gotham. You can put in a couple of different ore blocks. So after I get done detailing this, I can just kind of show you what I mean by which ore blocks that work best. Okay. Now we just get on with these. Alright, and we just go in. Doesn't really matter where we place it on as long as it's not the mossy blocks. Again, it's really just random. No real pattern to it. As long as they don't completely touch, it doesn't really matter how we place it. Well, it kind of does. You kind of want to off-center everything, but that's besides the point. In this, it just doesn't really matter what we place it on. No, I want to add that right there. Alright, now we go in with this. Buttons can go on whatever. Nope. Nope. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that's just how you really detail a curved sidewalk, and you can translate that to that right there. Without wasting any more time, because I'm not going to be detailing this. You can get the kind of general idea from how I detailed the sidewalk on how to detail that. Now we're going to get into the curved part. So let's just say, you know, I do this, right? And it's filled in right here. And keep in mind, this is not really showing you like, you know, oh, you do so much of a straight thin curve. No, this is just kind of giving you an idea of how to do a diagonal road. And diagonal roads are very difficult to do. So once we fill this in, I can get to showing you, and then really just show you that it's not as difficult as it may seem, and really the most difficult part is doing diagonal buildings. That's a little bit of a hassle. So there's a couple of ways that you can do a diagonal road. You can either do it like so, right? And then do it like so. You can do it like that, or you can do it, which this is actually the more proper way to do it, because you want to give your road as much width as possible when you're doing diagonal roads. It's a little bit of a trickier process, but you know, it's just kind of trial and error until it looks proportionate. I need 3 out. Now keep in mind I haven't done a 9 wide diagonal road yet. Still kind of experimenting with it, but you know, it's a learning process. We're gonna learn together. So yeah, so that looks pretty good. You could either make it 4 or 5 long and then the diagonal part on the top, just to kind of help it get more width. I think I'm actually going, yeah, I'm gonna give it 1 more, just because I like my roads to be very wide, especially if it's a 9 wide. See if that works better. Yeah, that kind of looks better. Okay, so you can make it 4 or 5. Make it really how big ever you want it. You know, it's just kind of to give you a general idea. Now, here's another way. So we're going to delete this. And we're also going to delete this. So here's another way of doing a somewhat diagonal road. It's a 2 block diagonal road, if that makes sense. So again, you know, we're just doing what we did over there. So yeah, you can see it's more curved, less like straight diagonal going across. And hell, if you want, you can do it like this, then lead it into that. Right. So you can really just experiment however you want, see what works, see what doesn't work, and just kind of, you know, try things out, see what looks good and what doesn't. This is really all about experimenting. So now we're going to get into a different type of road, but first I need to tell you about those ores for the sidewalk. So the ores for the sidewalk that I like to personally use: coal, copper, and that's about it. So like you use coal, copper, and if you have like a crime scene, or if you're using like candles, right, like let's just say red candles, you can use redstone ore. So like for example, let's just get our candle, right? So you know, you could do it like that, make it look like the candle dripped everywhere. It's actually a really cool design choice. So back into the road, just getting that out of the way so you can kind of see, really. So we're gonna go over here, right? And let's just say we do a 13 wide road, right? So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's recount that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. Okay, so let's say, we bring it across about, however far we want it. Let's just say it's like a really big road, you know. And now we got to find the middle of this. So to find the middle, I like to use a combination of two different blocks, gold and iron. So we're going to count by tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go on this side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're going to do it by fives now. So 5, 3, 4, 5, and that's our middle block. So I'm going to bring this out, bring this over, bring that out. Now we have our middle block. We can break these. Break this. And now we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So now we're going to bring this out. I'm teaching you how to do a four-way intersection right here. And keep in mind this is just the smaller version of the four-way intersection, but you can always expand upon these parts later, so that's the important part. Bring this out. And I need a little bit of length to these. Not much, but just enough. Right. So most people would just do that, call it a day, and nothing else. We are different. So what we do here is we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Boom. Then what we do is we break this part. Go over on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And just do the same thing on all four sides. 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. And for those who are watching this as a premiere, thank you for tuning in and learning just really how I build Gothams. A lot of this knowledge came from a couple of other people, but most of it I developed on my own, and I'm really happy to share it with all of you. So now that we have that part done, right, you can see it's 4 curves, right? It makes it look more interesting. It makes it pop more. And it allows you to really just do whatever. And this would be used in a middle part if you are starting with the middle of the city. This is what you would normally start with if you want to start with a four-way intersection. If you want to start with a two-way intersection, not a two-way, a three-way intersection, what you would do, right? So let's just say we have another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So let's just say, you have your 13 long, right? Not 13 long, but 13 wide. And I'm not really going to try to find the middle of this, mainly because we could always just add on to it in whatever direction. But let's just say, for the sake of it, this is the middle. No, we're going to go like right here, right? And we're going to extend this out a little bit. Break that. Okay, so now we're going to count 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we're going to go here, bring that over, bring that over. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so now we just made that our middle. And most people would just do that, call it a day. Again, that's not what we do here. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, boom, 1, 2, boom, boom, boom. And then we just break that. Then we go here, copy it on this side. And then that's what you would do for your three-way intersection. I believe it's a three-way intersection. Yeah, maybe, because this would be a two wide, and then yeah, so a three-way intersection. That's what you would really do for that, or a T-shaped road. But now we're gonna kind of get into this part because this is what I started with my Gotham. Which first, let me check how long this video is so far. About 48 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up really quick. Basically, whatever you learned right over here with the curve is what you translate to right here. And then, you just kind of fill it in, detail it like how you did over there. And then you call it a day. So in the next video, I'm gonna try to make like it a little bit shorter. I kind of have a problem with making really long videos and trying to explain things a little bit because I want to give you guys the best content that I can, but in order to do that, I have to make these longer videos in order to teach you guys how to build these very complex things. If I had the ability to time-lapse it and just voice record over it, I would do that 100 times over. But in this case, I can't, so this has been Ghost Gaming signing off. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.